Okay, in this video we'll discuss about what is chi-square distribution and what is chi-square variates, the goodness of fit test, the relationship between two categorical variables, the checking for equality of proportion to test if the hypothetical value of the population variance is sigma square. Okay, now before that we should know what do you mean by non-parametric method. In the previous videos we had to assume that the samples came from normal populations. When these assumptions cannot be justified, it is necessary to use procedures that do not require that these conditions be met. These procedures are called non-parametric method. A non-parametric test requires fewer assumptions and uses less information in the data. We discuss a popular non-parametric test called chi-square test, which can handle both qualitative and quantitative data. Now, before discussing the chi-square test, we will discuss about the chi-square distribution. If Z1, Z2 to ZV are independent and normally distributed random variables with mean 0 and standard deviation 1, then the random variable x is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to V zi square follows the chi-square distribution with V degrees of freedom. Okay, next the chi-square distribution follows distribution is like that. Now if V is equal to say 2, the distribution will be like that. Okay, and if V is equal to 4, the distribution will be like that, and if V is equal to 8, distribution will be like that, and if V is equal to 20, distribution will be like that. Okay, so if you increase degrees of freedom, say it is 2 here, V is equal to say 4 here, V is equal to 8, V is equal to 20, and so on. So if we increase the degrees of freedom, we can decrease the skewness of the distribution. Okay, now assumptions. There are a few assumptions that should be satisfied to get the precise results, and the assumptions are as follows. The sample observation should be independent. Second, a common rule in 2 by 2 table is 5 or more values should be present in all the cells. In larger table, 5 or more must be there in 8% of the cells, and all cells should be contain non-zero values. When this assumption is not met, Fisher's exact test is recommended. Next, the observations are assumed to be independent of each other. That is, we cannot apply chi-square test for matched data. If the assumption is not met, then McNemar's test of independent proportion is recommended. The sample should contain at least 50 observations. Okay, so sample size should be more than 50. Next, they should be expressed in original units for convenience of comparison and not in percentage or ratio forms. Sample data must be drawn at random from the target populations. So these are the assumptions. Next, we talk about the chi-square test. Okay, next we talk about the chi-square test. What is chi-square test? The test we use to measure the difference between what is observed and what is expected according to an assumed hypothesis is called the chi-square test. The chi-square test can only be used on data that has the following characteristics. Okay, so some characteristics should be there where we can apply the chi-square test. Number 1, the total number of observations must be greater than 50. Next, the sample observations should be independent and should be collected from normally distributed population. Third, the frequency of the data must have a precise numerical values and must be organized into categories or groups. And finally, the expected frequency in any one cell of the table must be greater than 5. So that we already know. Next, we'll talk about application of chi-square distribution. We apply chi-square test in many applications like goodness of fit test, to know the relationship between two categorical variables, to test the homogeneity of independent estimates of the population correlation coefficient, to test if the hypothetical value of the population variance is sigma square. Okay, now limitations of the chi-square test. The limitations of chi-square test are as follows. Number 1, chi-square become difficult to interpret if the table is larger than 4 by 4. Second, if the table is more than 2 by 2, there is no correlation method available for small sample size. Next, chi-square is sensitive to the large sample sizes. Doubling the sample size doubles the chi-square, and for large samples, very small differences can be significant. Next, it implies cause rather than association. Finally, spurious relationship cannot be recognized. Now, we'll talk about the first application, that is goodness of fit. Goodness of fit test. It determines how well a distribution of proportions fits an expected distributions, say theoretical distributions such as binomial, Poisson, normal, etc. In a test of goodness of fit, the actual frequencies in a category are compared to the frequencies that theoretical would be expected to occur if the data followed the specific probability distribution of interest. We use goodness of fit test to know the discrepancy between the theory and the experiment. That is, it enables us to find whether the deviation of the experiment from the theory is just by chance. So that means suppose one population is there, okay, and its outcome, some outcomes are there. Now we assume that that particular outcome follows, say, normal distribution, okay, or say binomial distribution, okay, binomial distribution. Now the question is whether this particular outcome follows binomial or normal or any other. We have to apply the goodness of fit test. So there should be some observed frequency, observed data, okay, and there should be some expected. So expected means suppose it follows a binomial distribution, and observed, the question is we have to compare with expected and observed, and from this comparison we can say that the outcome follows that particular normal, that particular distribution or not. Okay, so in this case we use the chi-square test, that is O minus E by E square. Okay, so O minus E square by E, where I is equal to 1 to K. Okay, I, where O is nothing but our observed frequency and E is nothing but our expected frequencies. Okay. Degree of freedom, here the degree of freedom we use n minus 1 degree of freedom, and what is n? N is the sample size, and alpha is a level of significant. Okay, so the theoretical value, so the theoretical or the table value is, theoretical value is chi-square alpha n minus 1. Okay, n is the sample size. For goodness of fit test we use right tail test. Okay, so for goodness of fit test always we use right tail test. Now if the theoretical value is more than calculated value, then do not reject the null hypothesis. That means already you know goodness of fit test is always right tail test. Okay, so the theoretical value is this one is the theoretical value. If the calculated value inside this particular, if it is in shadow region, then do not reject the null hypothesis. If it is more than this particular value, theoretical value, then we can reject the null hypothesis. Okay, now see the first example. A coin was thrown 20 times for 60 experimental trials, and the getting heads are as follows. So 6 experimental trials, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so these are the outcomes. So observed frequency. Okay, so every time we toss 20 times, 20 times, total 120 times. Okay, so first time we toss a coin 20 times, second time we toss a coin 20 times, third time 20 times for 6 experimental, and the getting hits are expected. So first time we so 10 hits out of 20, 12 hits out of 20, 18 hits out of 20, 8 hits out of 20, 15 hits out of 20, 8 hits out of 20. Now the question is whether the coin is here we have to apply chi-square test. Now the null hypothesis will be H0 is the coin is unbiased. The coin is unbiased. Okay, and alternative hypothesis H1, the coin is biased. Okay, that is the difference is there in between the observed and expected frequencies. The question is test the hypothesis that the coin was biased or unbiased. Clear? So the null hypothesis the coin is unbiased, and alternative the coin is biased. So if it is unbiased, out of 20 number of hits would be 10, out of 20 the number of hits would be 10, out of 20 number of hits would be 10. So these are the expected frequencies. The expected frequency is 10 out of 20, okay, for each and every trial. But observed frequencies are 10 out of 20, 12 out of 20, 18 out of 20, and so on. So here we have to apply chi-square test. So in this case we have to use this particular formula. Now here we can use this particular O minus E by E square. Okay, so 10 minus 10, 10 minus 10 square divided by 10, so that is 0. Okay, similarly 12 minus 10 square divided by 10, okay, the value is 0.4. Similarly 18 minus 10 square, okay, the 18 minus 10 square divided by 10, the answer is 6.4. okay, here answer is 0.4, 2.5 and 0.4. And if you calculate the total the total is 10.1. okay, so chi-square c square summation of OI minus EI square by EI I is equal to 1 to k is equal to 10.1. okay, now the degree of freedom, is how many experiments are there? 1, 2 trials are there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trials are there, so degrees of freedom is 5. okay, and theoretical value, so we have to identify the theoretical value. So chi-square alpha is equal to, assume 0.05, and degree of freedom -1, so 5, so its value is 11.070. okay, now we'll see how to. okay, now how it is, you can see here, so degrees of freedom is say 5, okay, and alpha is equal to 0.05, that is 11.07. okay, so here degrees of freedoms are there, and level of significance you can see here. So if it is 1%, so 0.01, okay, say 0.025, 0.5, 0.1, and so on. okay, so degree of freedom 5 and level of significance is 0.05, that is 11.07. okay, the degree of freedom is 5 and the level of significance is 0.05, then the theoretical or table value is 11.07. As we know that the chi-square goodness of fit test, we use the right tail test. Since the calculated value, so calculated value is what? 10.1 is smaller than the table value, 11.07. Hence we do not reject the null hypothesis, and I conclude that the coin is unbiased. Clear? Next example. A survey of 36 families with 3 children each revealed the following distribution: number of boys and number of girls. Okay, 24 2. Is this data proves that male and female births are equally probable? Okay. Now null hypothesis H0. There is no significant difference in the observed and expected frequencies. That is, the male and female births are equally probable. Okay, so H0 is what? The male and female births are equally probable. And alternative hypothesis, male and female births are not equally probable. So here, equally probable. Okay. Next, assume that male and female births are equally probable. The probability of male birth, then we can say that P is equal to 0.50. Now the expected number of families can be calculated by the use of binomial distribution. So here we have to apply binomial distribution. The probability of X male births in a family of 3 is given by, so 3cx p to the power x 1 minus p to the power 3 minus x. So 3 is what? Number of children. Okay, and x is number of boys, and p is the probability of male birth. Okay, and 1 minus p is probability of female birth. So fx we can write 3cx. Okay, so here p is equal to 0.5. That means we can write 0.05 to the power x plus 3 minus x. That means 3cx 0.5 to the power 3. Okay. Now to get the expected frequency, we use the following formula. Fx into n. Okay, where n is equal to 36. Basically total 36 families are there. If you calculate the total family here, the total family say 36, which is nothing but our n. Okay, now we can see here fx expected, fx into n, okay, observed, and O minus E square by E. Okay, so x may be 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here we may apply the total. So if x is equal to 0, then 3c0 0.5 to the power 3, that is 0.125. Similarly 3c1 0.5 to the power q, and that is 0.375. 3c2 0.5 to the power 3, that is 0.375. Next 3c3 0.5 to the power q, that is 0.125. Now expected in fx into n, n is equal to 36. That means 0.125 into 36, that is 4.5. 0.375 into 36, that is 13.5. 0.375 into 36, 13.5. 0.125 into 36, that is 4.5. Observed frequencies are okay. So okay. So probability of getting 0 boys. So total number of expected frequency 4.5, and observed frequency is what? 2. Okay. Similarly, probability of getting 1 boy expected is 13.4, but actually it is 4. Okay. Next, probability of getting 2 boys, practically it is 20. Okay, so practically it is 20, but here expected is 13.5. Probability of getting 3 boys, okay, expected is 4.5, but the observed is 10. So here it is 10. So these are the expected frequency, these are the observed frequency, and we have to apply the formula O minus E square by E. So here the formula, the answers are 1.3888, okay, next 6.6851, next 3.1296, next 6.722, okay. So the total answer is 17.9259. Okay, now the theoretical value chi-square value is at degree of freedom 4 minus 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 minus 1 is equal to 3, and assume alpha level of significance is 0.05, and the value is 7.81. okay, so we can see here, if degree of freedom is 3, okay, and level of significance is 0.5, the answer is 7.81. so practical answer is, the theoretical value is 7.81, the table value is 7.81, and the calculated value is 17.9259. okay, so it's a summation. If you add all this, you can get this particular value. Now since the computed value is more than the theoretical value, hence reject the null hypothesis. Okay, so it's a right tail test, already you know. The theoretical value is 7.81, but our calculated value is somewhere here, 7.9259. so it is more than this particular value, so this is the rejection region, so reject the null hypothesis. And that is, the male and female births are not equally probable. Many more examples, many more applications.